In this session, I will be discussing about the topic diffusion and transport of gases. So, in the inspired air, the oxygen content will be more and the CO2 content will be less. So, in lungs, the deoxygenated blood is coming, right? It is having less oxygen but more carbon dioxide. The diffusion is always from higher concentration to lower concentration. So the oxygen from the alveolar air it will diffuse into the blood, whereas the carbon dioxide from the deoxygenated blood will move out. This deoxygenated blood it stays inside the blood vessel for zero point 0.8 seconds. The gas will be moving by diffusion. So the diffusion it is simple diffusion and no ATP is required. So it is a passive process. Now Fick's law. The Fick's law states that the diffusion is proportional to the concentration gradient. It is the concentration gradient of the gases. It is proportional to the area of the respiratory membrane. It is inversely proportional to thickness. It is proportional to lipid solubility and it is inversely proportional to size of particles. That means if the small size of particles, more diffusion. So here the respiratory membrane is between the alveoli and the blood vessels. The most important thing is a clinical correlation. So in emphysema, the trypsin will be overactive. So trypsin it is a protease enzyme, right? So it will destroy the membrane surface area. So by Fick's law, as the area decreases, the area of the respiratory membrane decreases, the diffusion also decreases. In the next condition, which is called as pulmonary fibrosis, there is increase in thickness of the respiratory membrane. So by Fick's law, there is decrease in diffusion. This diffusion can be measured by a test which is called as DLCO test, which is diffusion capacity of lung for carbon monoxide. The carbon monoxide is used because it is 200 times more stabler, more affinity for hemoglobin. The normal DLCO value is 25 ml per minute per 1 millimeter mercury pressure difference. So, in certain cases, the DLCO, that is the diffusion capacity of lung for carbon monoxide, it decreases. That means during the emphysema, during pulmonary fibrosis, during anemia, the diffusion is reduced. So the DLCO test will show a decreased value. In certain conditions, the value of DLCO is increased. That means our diffusion capacity is increased. So the polycythemia, that means more blood cells. It is a pathological condition which increases the diffusion capacity. So there is a physiological condition which is exercise. So during exercise, the diffusion capacity increases. The CO2 it is 20 times more stabler than oxygen. So that's all about diffusion of gases.